Good afternoon, folks. We're back to talk some more about Caitlin Clark, the GOAT. Okay, I don't care what anybody has to say. The GOAT. Okay, maybe the GOAT in the making, but the GOAT. So we all know they played the New York Liberty the other night, and the Fever got I don't know what to call it. Um, I'm not surprised because I don't think, honestly, Stephanie White has a clue what she's doing. And we're not going to talk about that today. We are going to talk about Stephanie White in another video. And it could be today. All right. We're just getting started here. I got a whole list over here. Okay. So one of the more interesting things, and it's being reported out there, so I'm sure you've already seen it, but I want to give you my perspective. Okay. Was post game that Caitlin Clark was photographed talking in one of the tunnels to several members of the New York Liberty, including the coach. So at this meeting, or at this meet up, I don't know that it was deliberate. It was Caitlin, Brianna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu was close by. I'm not sure she was initially part of the conversation. And we know that Caitlin Clark gets along with Stewie and Sabrina Ionescu. Okay, they have a good relationship. And also there was Sandy Brondello, who's the coach of the Liberty, and oddly, Eric Kane, who is Caitlin Clark's agent. Now, this has fueled a lot of speculation on the internet about Caitlin Clark perhaps looking for a next landing spot. So let me just say this, okay? I would say that that's out of the question right now, except for two things. One, what is her agent doing there? And two, you have to know that Caitlin Clark is not happy right now. And it is, yes, of course, because of her injury. We get that, okay? She's frustrated. You know, the other night when she got injured again, she was crying on the court in when I saw her at the TV Garden in Boston. But she could just as easily have been crying, not from pain, but from just frustration from not being healthy enough to get up ahead of steam to play her game. We also know, however, that Stephanie White's slow down plotting style of 80s basketball is not Caitlin Clark, okay? Now, the Fever chose Caitlin Clark as their number one pick and vowed to build a team around her. And that is not what is happening here. That is not. She has been used as a small forward by Stephanie White. She is not a small forward. She is, no matter how you want to look at this, the premier point guard in the WNBA. Okay? She's an elite passer. She is a killer of a shooter when her legs are healthy. If she's not able to use her legs, and I maintain this is why her shot is off right now, is because she is not healthy enough to be able to get the leverage she needs using her legs. Okay, this isn't rocket science, all right? She's not happy with this. There were rumors on last Friday night's game that everybody was unhappy at halftime and decided that Caitlin Clark needed to have the ball. They came out and they were like a different team in the second half and they won that game. Then they applied the same exact playing style on Sunday and won again. Okay? Last year, under Christy Sides, they had a rough first half. They started, I believe, 0-8 or 1-8, whatever. And I get it because Caitlin Clark was brand new to the game. Okay, brand new to the WNBA, came straight out of college, no time to rest, right into the WNBA. Okay? And I'm sure that Christy Sides wanted things done her way at the beginning of the year, but she at least got to the point, at the midway point, where she told Caitlin Clark to play her game. Okay? And maybe she talked to Caitlin Clark's college coach, Lisa Bluter, who tells people all the time, sometimes you just got to let Caitlin be Caitlin and do Caitlin things. What happened in the second half of the season last year? The Indiana Fever made the playoffs for the first time in several years on the back of Caitlin Clark and on her speed game. This year has been psychotic, okay? I don't want to talk about the game on Tuesday night at the Garden. I am going to talk about that separately because for a point guard who is rated by the players as the 9th best guard in the league, they're picking her up way back under the basket, not even allowing her to get to center court to bring the ball over. They're double teaming her. And in fact, on Tuesday night, they triple teamed her several times. Okay? They're bodying her. They're literally wrapping their arms around her waist. They're doing whatever they can to stop her. And nobody in the league, none of the officials in the league are stopping any of this. That's another conversation. So for a person who is the number 9 guard in the league, they're paying an awful lot of attention to her like she's the number 1 guard in the league. And everybody knows she is, including the players who are just jealous and grousing and nasty. Okay? You have to know that Caitlin Clark cannot be happy in Stephanie White's version of basketball. Okay? She changed the way basketball was played at the college level, and she has the ability to do this at the pro level. And she's not being allowed to play her game under Stephanie White. Now, there's a lot of rumors out there that a lot of things were promised to the players that were brought into the Fever to be set up around Caitlin Clark. That was the big talk on the offseason, was they were building a new team around Caitlin Clark. Okay? I don't know what happened with DeWanna Bonner. I don't know what that was all about. But maybe she feels as though I hear there's a lot of rumors out there that a lot of these players are saying what was promised isn't happening. Clearly, Caitlin Clark is not going to thrive under Stephanie White. And that's for several reasons, okay? You've got to know that Caitlin Clark has worked too hard to make herself an elite player. Her work ethic is unquestionable. She is always looking to improve herself. As one other internet person mentioned the other day, one other commentator, she came back from injury with a back down move, which is something they've never seen from her before, and that's quite true. She's always looking to add to her arsenal and her repertoire. She cares about basketball. She wants to ball. She wants to play. She wants to win. The only way the Indiana Fever are going to get to the playoffs and have a shot at a championship, and yes, Kelsey Mitchell deserves a championship. She has labored under the losing Indiana Fever for several years now. The only way they're going to get there is playing Caitlin Clark style basketball. So we'll see if that comes to fruition in the second half. But I can tell you this. Caitlin Clark needs to be Caitlin Clark. And they need to play Caitlin Clark basketball. And if, what do we have? Maybe 10 more years of her in her prime. She's not going to sit still for that long and wait for it to develop here. She's already frustrated. So we're going to keep an eye on all of this and see if this actually develops into something. But, these kinds of meetings are not uncommon. This is kind of like the starting point here. We'll see where this goes. I will be back. I've got a whole list of stuff we want to talk about, including the way that Caitlin Clark is being handled physically in this league. It's unacceptable. I'm tired of the word physicality. It's not physicality. I understand physicality, and so does Caitlin Clark. But that's not what this is. We will talk about that, hopefully, in the next video. I hope you guys have a great afternoon. And I'm going to try to be back again today. Please share the channel. Please subscribe. Let's build a community about the GOAT. I'll talk to you later.